Today we're celebrating and commemorating Memorial Day. And with that, I share these words with you from Dwayne Finkstein. Great mystery incarnate in every person and dwelling among us in the midst of our relationships, we need your help. In a world torn by fear and violence, do not let our hearts be hardened. Let us embrace those in need of our support. Help us to move beyond seeking justice to seeking a world governed by grace. Help us to know what needs to be done and how to do it. Where we find suffering, may we bring compassion. Where we find fear, may we bring courage. Where we find hate, may we bring love. Come, let us worship together.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grace, for purple mountains, majesty above the fruited plain. America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrims' feet. Oh, beautiful for pilgrims' feet, who stirred in passions, a thoroughfare for freedom beast. A thoroughfare for freedom beat, across the wilderness. America, God made thine everything for my soul. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
There are many stories about the beginning of Memorial Day. The first official observance was on May 30th, 1868, when flowers were placed on the graves of Union and Confederate soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. Since World War I, Memorial Day has been commemorated as a day to honor all men and women who have died while serving in our nation's military. On Memorial Day, our nation pauses to express its appreciation to those who have served and who continue to serve in our nation's armed forces. On Memorial Day, we remember our comrades in uniform whom we have loved and lost in service to our nation. We express gratitude for their lives and their sacrifices, even as we risk our own. On Memorial Day, no matter our feelings about war, we remember the sacrifices made. May we honor the lives of those who have died And may we reach out in love to our living veterans and their families, extending the olive branch of acceptance and respect as our faith calls us to each and every day. War is horror. May we never use Memorial Day as a time to glorify militarism or the killing and destructiveness of this human aberration we call war. We yearn for peace, and we pray for the day when nations pursue understanding over violence in resolving disputes. We light this chalice for the hope of peace.
I meant to ask you how to fix that car. And I always meant to ask you about the war. What you saw across the bridge too far. Did it leave a scar? Or how you navigated wings of fire and steel up where heaven no more secrets to reveal. And still you found the ground beneath your wheels. How did it feel? Bang the drum slowly, play the fife lowly to dust. Be returning from dust. Bang the drum slowly, I'll speak of things holy above and below me, world without end. I meant to ask you how when everything seemed lost and your fate was in the game of dice they tossed, there was still a line that you would never cross at any cost. I meant to ask you how you lived what you believed, with nothing but your heart up your sleeve. And if you ever really were deceived by the likes of me, bang the drum slowly, play the fife lowly, from dust we returning, from dust we begin. Bang the drum slowly, speak of things holy above and below me, world without end. Gone now the day and gone the sun. There is peace tonight all over Arlington. The songs of my life will still be sung by the light of the moon you hung. I meant to ask you how to plow that field, and I meant to bring you water from the well, and be the one beside you when you fell. Could you tell? Bang the drum slowly, play the fife lowly to dust. Be returning from dust we begin. Bang the drum slowly, I'll speak of things holy above and below me, world without end.
The young dead soldiers do not speak.
Nevertheless, they are heard in the still houses. Who has not heard them?
They have a silence that speaks for them at night and when the clock counts.
They say, "We were young, we have died. Remember us."
They say, "We have done what we could, but until it is finished, it is not done."
They say, "We have given our lives, but until it is finished, no one can know what our lives gave."
They say, "Our deaths are not ours, they are yours. They will mean what you make them."
They say, "Whether our lives and our deaths were for peace and a new hope or for nothing, we cannot say. It is you who must say it."
They say, "We leave you our deaths. Give them their meaning."
We were young, they say. We have died.
Remember us.
I wish we didn't have to have a military. And yet, in this world, we do have to have a military. I wish war never existed, and yet war has been a part of human existence and probably pre-human existence for many thousands of years. It is my greatest hope that all wars will cease. But for that to happen, all people need to have a safe, nurturing environment with plenty of food and shelter and opportunities to grow and learn and thrive. And then I even have to ask, would war end then? I would like to think so. And yet this is not our world today. Our world is filled with fighting, and whether we like it or not, our military must be involved to some extent. We could debate all day what should or should not be, but the reality is that our troops, our loved ones, our husbands, wives, children, and parents are serving our country and the future of this country by putting themselves in harm's way. Our theme this month is the question, how are you called to be in relationship with inheritance? Inheritance. So with that question in mind, I wonder, what would our world be like if we never had a strong military? Both many justices that have happened and many injustices that have happened would have changed. One cannot say for sure, but we would probably most likely still be a part of England. The Native Americans would still be on their own land. Slavery would have never ended, and someone, perhaps by the name of Hitler, would be dominating and probably oppressing most of us, because that's the way it works when people don't fight back. I don't like it, and I wish it wasn't so. But at this point in time, it is the way it is. Our ancestors would not have stood up against their oppressors, and we would not have created the United States of America, founded on the ideals of freedom and equality for all people. This new way of governing and existing as a country would not have been born, and it would not have inspired other democracies to bloom all over the world. We really cannot even fathom what it would be like. So in many, many ways, we owe our very lives and our way of life to the soldiers who have fought throughout the ages. Were the wars just? Some not. You might draw that line differently, I don't know. But they did happen, and our soldiers did their duty and followed orders and died or were wounded and scarred. So we are living in a world largely created by those who gave their lives throughout history and up to the present day for us and for our futures. This is the inheritance left to us by sacrifices of the men and women of the military. The sacrifices hold great meaning, whether or not the fighting was truly necessary. As Unitarian Universalists, we have pledged ourselves to the pursuit of peace, liberty, and justice all over the world. And we work to end conflict whenever and wherever possible. Yet, because some of us may not agree with the war or conflict, it is tempting to put ourselves at one end of the polarity and fail to consider the complexity of the situations our military personnel face every day. Some may forget to honor the humanity of every person who is out there doing their best work through difficult and life-threatening situations. For each soldier that serves this country in the military, there is a family at home that loves and cares deeply about that person. There's a bright future awaiting that young person, which the military can help shape. But the greatest cost of war happens when their futures end or are somehow diminished. Their lives are just as important as anyone else's, yet as soldiers, they are giving the future of this country the incalculable, precious gift of his or her life. Military chaplain Reverend George Tiger shared a message with soldiers under his pastoral care in Afghanistan in 2011. He said, "We in the military have dedicated our lives to the many high ideals, freedom, honor, loyalty, and duty define the American way of life. We place ourselves in harm's way to defend those ideals so that those at home can sleep safe each night. When we lose friends, an emptiness remains that even the highest ideals cannot fill. The cost of those ideals is the struggle to find meaning in these losses." So what is the meaning in these losses? The meaning is found in remembering and honoring each and every one of them and what they gave to us. For even if they gave their lives for a conflict we do not support, they gave their lives to this country. They gave their lives to help us. In order for their lives to have meaning, we must understand and accept and hold this precious gift. We must remember them, each and every one of them, and we must give back to them and their families our deepest gratitude. Through this full circle of remembrance, gratitude, and love, we acknowledge the sacred meaning of their sacrifice. So let us take a roll call to honor those who serve and who have served in the military. Let us begin with a minute of silence for all those who have lost their lives in military service for this country. As you hear a description that fits you, I invite you to stand or raise your hand and be recognized. Please remain standing or keep your hand raised during the entire roll call. Please do not applaud. Please stand, all those serving on active duty. All those serving in the Guard or Reserves. All those who have served in the military. All those who have served in the Guard and Reserve. All those who served in alternative service. All those who currently have family serving on active duty. All those who currently have family serving in the Guard and Reserve. All those who have family serving on active duty. All those who have or have had family serving in alternative service. Anyone who has had family serving on active duty in the past. And all those who have had family serving in the Guard and Reserve. Anyone who has had family serving in alternative service in the past. Let us enter now into a time of reflective silence or prayer to acknowledge all those in our midst who have served and the loved ones that they represent. You may be seated. I knew that would be a lot of people, but I didn't realize it would be that many. Wow. It's poignant. And thank you all for all of the support that you give them and for all of the service that you have brought to our country. I invite us now into a spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, whom we have called by many names, in thanksgiving and in anguish. Bless the poets and those who mourn. Send peace for the soldiers who did not make the wars, but whose lives were consumed by them. Let strong trees grow above the graves far from home. Breathe through the arms of their branches. The earth will swallow your tears while the dead sing. No more, never again, remember me. For the wounded ones and those who receive them back, let there be someone ready when the memories come, when the scars pull and the buried metal moves. And forgiveness for those of us who were not there for our ignorance. And in us, veterans in a forest of 1,000 fallen promises, let new leaves of protest grow on our stumps. Give us courage to answer the cry of humanity's pain, and with our bare hands, out of full hearts, with all our intelligence, let us create peace. I knew when I was young how I wanted life to go. The shatter of life's deepest grief was only to come late in life, when I thought I would be wise and ready. Life, though, has its own schedule, of course, and the shards of my broken heart pierced the path I thought I knew. The pieces never come together again in quite the same way. Life goes on and somehow we go along with it, mending and gluing the remnants of our being. It is a sacred pilgrimage to return to the holes in our hearts, and sometimes the journey is a forbidden one. Yet most of us know our way there very well. The journey is unique, as our life is unique, a different landscape for one and all. Yet one thing is the same, the hidden place of total honesty. No one can enter without it. And in this place, we might find much to hang on to, and we might find pieces that we are ready to let go of. The burden, if finally ready, to be washed clean away from us. Yet always, even in the darkest places, our personal spirit is strengthened and our light grows stronger by the gift of honest grief. In grief, our memories visit those we long for. Here, in this place of honesty, we thank them. We thank them for all the ways our life has been enriched and blessed. We thank them for being so deeply embedded into our essence. We remember them with love and gratitude. We remember them. And now in closing, I share with you a litany. We remember them. Please feel free to respond with each line. We remember them. At the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. At the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joy we yearn to share, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us, and we remember them. Thank you. My friends, I share with you the words of a Pueblo blessing as our benediction. Hold on to what is good, even if it is a handful of dirt. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree that stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to life, even if it is easier to let go. Hold on to my hand, even if I have gone away from you. May we still hold hands with those we love. I invite you to hold hands, put your hands on someone's shoulder, and join us in saying our closing affirmation. Nurtured by this community, inspired by all that we share, may our actions carry this love forward into our lives and into the world every day. Go in peace and walk in love. Thank you.